Hi guys, Alex here. Welcome back to Girl Talk. I've got a little bit of mess and a little bit of drama today for you guys. Welcome to our first video of December. Happy December, everyone. Christmas is swiftly approaching. First, we're going to go ahead and do a quickie Shantopoulos world update. She put up a video. This was obviously a sympathy ploy. Foodie Beauty without her crutches, without any of her vices, our girl is now forced to face reality. And then later on in the video, we're going to talk about some Instagram Q&A questions from ALR. Is she lying about her love life? I found this one in particular to be extremely contradictory to statements from the past. I think this is what leads to Amber being called a liar in the end. These easily avoidable situations continue to hurt her credibility. All that and more coming up on today's edition of Girl Talk. Let's just get right into it. I mean, shall we? Is this a serve? I'm having my Amber moment. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and start off with our quickie Shantopoulos world update. Last time we checked in, she came on with her liver test updates, claiming that this is a new era for our girl. We took a look at that at my latest Shook afternoon. If you want to check that out, we did look at Foodie and Glitter and Lasers, my new girly cue. Anyways, it's out with the junk food, in with the diabetic-friendly mukbangs and talking vlogs, updates on her diabetes journey. So today we're going to focus on her video called I'm Not Doing Very Well. I'm really not doing too well. I mean, say it isn't so, girl. It's not like we didn't already know that. She begins with a weigh-in, claiming to be 163 kilograms, which is about 360 pounds for those American viewers. She's been taking her meds and supposedly not eating fast food, so she has a drop in blood sugar, but she's still in that initial stage. You know what I mean? It hasn't been many days since she started this new quote-unquote program, since she's seen this doctor. It must have been shocking for her to be faced with reality. You're excited, you're doing the damn thing. Let's see how long this lasts. She shows the meals that she's been eating lately. They're all very meh. I can imagine that she is left craving something more. Although I do have to say the portion sizes are much smaller. Chantal's channel has recently hit 96,000 subscribers. She has struggled over the past year, going from 90 to 94 to back again. So for her to be finally on the up and up, I suppose, I'm not sure what to think about it. I don't think that these people were around for the BBJ situation. A lot of her supporters kind of jumped ship after that. But as she continues to rewrite history, it would probably be more in her best interest not even to discuss these things, which last week she claimed that she wasn't going to be discussing these things. I have noticed many more defenders in her comment section, newbies, I suppose. Chantal is wearing a hijab that she says is a gift from Bahrain, which is interesting because Mr. Shabib, her friend Allah Shabib, who actually turned on them like last year, is that like 2 years by now? I don't know. It was a big drama in Kuwait when Mr. Shabib came on and spoke about his experience with Chantal and Salah, claiming that Chantal was lazy when they were on a camping trip, not helping the other women clean up. And they had a lot to say about her behind the scenes. But this gift from Mr. Shabib, allegedly, does that mean that they kissed and made up? Chantal is beginning to feel the side effects, the negative side effects from her metformin that she talked about before. And she does discuss a dry patch on her face that some suspected was ringworm. She doesn't want to look into her meds too much because she'll freak herself out. I feel like that's a step in the right direction, and she's grieving her grandmother and wondering what her grandmother would think about her new life in the Middle East because she was always critical about Chantal's boyfriends. Chantal longs to be a child again. She says so in the video, which reminds me of an Instagram reel that kind of messed me up. I was laying in bed scrolling through the Instagram. You guys know how it be. And this one came up and it was like, what if you travel to the past and nobody's there. It's kind of like the lesson of it is don't live in the past because everybody else has moved on and you're continuing to think about these things while life continues to go by and nothing really good comes of reminiscing too much. Of course, you have your good memories, but don't live in the past. I think that Chantal does live in the past a lot whenever she tells one of her stories, whether it be a TMI or something a little more clean, akin to what she puts out these days. It's always from her childhood. She talks about like Pizza Hut. Why are so many of her memories surrounded by Pizza Hut and food? Well, we know why. This just might be the arc for her to move on and leave those things in the past. Of course, she continues to bring up recent past events like the BBJ situation, but we already said that she claims to be leaving that in the past, but that has yet to be seen because she always brings it up. She thinks about her own mortality. This video plays a lot as a ploy for sympathy, but a lot of people have lost sympathy for her at this point. I did notice one top comment claiming that she had done this all to herself. There's not really much of an argument against that. Chantal claims to be ignoring people who, quote, hate her and says that this is all a test from Allah or God. When she rages, she fails the test. Until she can overcome, she will continue to be tested. As we have seen, she hasn't done much of anything since Thailand in regards to getting out there in Kuwait and maybe going to a museum or shopping vlog. I don't think she does much of anything besides grocery shopping and laying around in the apartment, because if she were to even go to a shopping mall, she would make sure to take advantage of that and at least have a couple of clips for her channel, because she struggles for content, especially now that she can't just order up any old fast food meal and devour it for the camera for that quick, cheap $100. I get the feeling these next words will come back to bite her. She says, hopefully no slip-ups. If I do, it will not be good for my stomach. I can't imagine slipping back into the junk food. I can't help but wonder, when is that going to happen? Because it feels right around the corner. She says that when she feels better, she will do live streams again, but for now she is grieving, she's melancholy, and she's almost scared for her life. And honestly, even if it appears disingenuous in the video, it's not the worst things for her to be processing at this time, because I feel as though she has pushed down all of these things, all of these emotions with food, substances, anything really, aside from facing them head on, the reality of this situation. And without any of her vices, Foodie Beauty has been forced to face reality. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and continue with these Instagram questions from Amber. Last we checked in with our girl, she was hung over. She did a little weigh-in moment, and she celebrated the fact that she was 509 pounds. I do believe that it was a little bit early for said celebration, but what's going on with Amber in regards to her personal life and her love life in particular? Let's look at these questions and start off here. How many times have you been in love? To which Amber replies, I've been truly in love only twice. To me, this definitely feels like not a dig at Becky, but you can just read between the lines. She definitely wasn't in love with Becky, and I just feel like it's another gut punch to Becky. We can read between the lines, and she even clarifies later on in another question, who are the two people you've been in love with then? To which she says Feline and someone that's never been on YouTube before. So obviously not Destiny, not Becky. So y'all wouldn't know them by name. In the last few years, I've learned so much about loving someone versus being truly in love with someone. So this is interesting because it's extremely contradictory in regards to past statements that Amber has made, in particular being in love with Destiny almost a year into her relationship with Becky, and that was a whole mess. I do feel as though that she has some sort of shame or complex, which she doesn't need to have in regards to her relationship with Destiny and Becky. She sees herself in a way above those two, basically as if they are trash and she is not. That's exactly what I think is going on here. She's kind of distancing herself from those past relationships with Destiny, with Becky. I mean, she has tried her hardest to make Destiny look bad, although Destiny has came on and tried her hardest to make Amber Lynn look bad. It's not exactly a hard thing to do either way. For further clarification on her love life, let's take a look at these ones that are a little bit older from the tail end of November. Who are you in love with? The same person I've been in love with. And you've been in love with two people, though. Which one? Which is pretty much the exact same question that came up just yesterday. Literally the same two people I've been talking about, Feline and that one girl. So Amber wants us to believe that she was only in love with Feline, that this relationship with Feline was so much more magical than her relationship with Destiny and Becky. But you know what is interesting is that her relationship with Destiny, her friendship after the fact, lasted much longer than this friendship post-relationship with Feline, because Feline has already taken off and she doesn't want anything to do with Amber. So I have to assume that the relationship was not as magical as Amber wants us to think that it was. But this quote unquote other girl that she doesn't even really know. I mean, this is that person from Instagram that she was talking to for like a couple of months. Apparently their connection was just so fire that she fell in love with them. Although being in a relationship with somebody else for over 2 years, you were never actually in love with them. So what was the point of that? Was that just because you were young and immature, or a lot of people like to suggest that she was simply looking for housing and these were relationships of convenience. So without knowing, she kind of admits that she used Destiny and Becky. She always tells on herself. It's hard to tell what exactly is the truth here because Amber has been known to lie and contradict herself so many times over the years, thus hurting her credibility and leading to people just simply labeling her a liar. But her relationship with Feline is what taught her what true love actually was. Although we know looking back, her relationship with Becky was not sunshine and roses. It was more of a convenient relationship for the both of them. I think that Becky was so in this deep bout of depression that was so thick that this was just the easiest thing for her to do, was to not leave that relationship. Although when she finally got out of that place, I think that when it comes to leaving people, places, things, like she left the apartment that she was at, or she left the house that she was living at with Eric and Ricky and Amber Lynn into this apartment in Lexington, and she only had Amber Lynn to look at, right? She had to be more independent, not having the boys there, and she was able to kind of pull herself at least a little bit out of that depression and once and for all leave Amber, because we know that Becky was the one that initiated the end of this relationship. Although, you know what is interesting? I do have to wonder how long would Amber stay in that relationship with Becky if Becky wasn't the one to initiate the breakup. Would she be married to Becky at this point? Because they were engaged. They were like this close to actually getting married. I thought Amber and Becky was endgame for better or worse, but we know that that is not. I mean, her and wifey aren't even endgame. What is next for her love life? We do know, and she talked about a little bit on Instagram, the gay scene in Oklahoma, and she wants to get out there and put herself out there. So we could very well be seeing a new love life arc, and that's kind of what I have my fingers crossed for here in the future. But it all does feel like a way for her to again push down those old relationships and put herself now as like better, or like I'm better than them. They're tacky, they're trash. That's just the vibe that I get from it. Switching gears to the previous video that we did look at in regards to Amber Lynn, I kind of want to quickly discuss like her quote unquote weight loss content. There was an Instagram question: do you still consider yourself a weight loss channel or a YouTuber that just wants to lose weight? I haven't had a weight loss channel in at least 5 years. I'm simply a YouTuber who wants to lose weight. Blah, blah, blah. And then you take a look at her recent videos, weigh in. So she wants to use her weight as sort of like clickbait, but she doesn't actually want to do anything about it because she knows that in reality, that's why a lot of people stick around, because they do want to see the end of this story. If she does eventually end up losing weight, what happens next? She's starting to get up there in age, so I would definitely look at something a little bit more seriously right now because of what Foodie Beauty is going through. I don't think that she has addressed that, but it's like you could be next. It's honestly surprising that she's not dealing with diabetes right now, even at the ripe old age of 33. So when it's convenient for Amber and she wants to use her weight for her channel to get a couple of clicks, then, she can be a weight loss YouTuber. Otherwise, why would you do weigh-ins? That doesn't even make sense. Let me just use this for shock value, because it's one or the other. Like it's either shock value or it's your weight loss channel. You want to lose weight. Not necessarily like full on weight loss channel, but there is an intention there to want to lose weight, especially when you're like, yay, when you're 509 pounds and last week you were 517. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So annoying. Oh, so yeah, that video was called Weight Loss Update there at the end, weight loss update. And she didn't even really give us an update on what she was doing to lose weight. So it's, again, contradictory from Amber Lynn. What's actually going on? Why would you put weight loss update if you don't really have any intention to lose weight and there's not really any plan going on? More contradictions for our girl, but it just makes me wonder, what is the future for her channel? Are we gonna get an actual weight loss journey sometime soon? Or is this just what she's comfortable with? I mean, she claims that she's able to take care of herself perfectly fine. I think that she has been very comfortable these past couple of years. Things have gone back to normal. She's able to take care of herself. I don't think that she sees a doctor regularly at all. So she's kind of in the space that Chantal was at a couple of months ago, where she just remains blissfully unaware that something wrong could be going on, but it's not something she even wants to look into, so she can remain ignorant while things could really be bad. And we don't see that part of Amber because she doesn't show it on the vlogs. All right, you guys, that's going to be it for today's video. It is an interesting time in gore world for sure. A lot of kind of open threads. Things could go this way. Things could go that way. They could get better. They could get worse. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And I will, of course, catch you guys in the next one. All right. Bye, everyone.